Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. I'm seeing Five of Cups kind of want to flip out, but then going back. We are starting off with Six of Pentacles. And Two of Wands. Wheel of Fortune. It looks like something that's established is the next steps are being taken. Six of Pentacles leaves me with the feeling that something is working or something can sort of stand on its own and function. And now there is a figuring out sort of what to do next with this and what route is going to be taken. You can feel like the path kind of opens up at this point. It does look like a time of expansion for you. Now, here's that Five of Cups. Oh, maybe initially something was working, but then not so much. Not the way that you wanted it to anyway. But because this didn't come out immediately, I wonder if like something did feel like it was working, but then something else happened and it could have felt like it wasn't. Let's get a little bit more specific with this. This feels like something that you were involved in, something that you were giving your energy to, and what it takes for this to be sustainable, where you were like, okay, I'm getting what I need here for this to be able to continue. It feels like for a short time like that was happening, where you could have felt like there was like a compensation, like there's a balance for the energy that you were putting in. Now it seems like something is happening where there can be, actually that cannot be the case. Because I'm seeing Five of Cups go underneath Six of Pentacles, there can be like something that was working that now you can feel like it's not, or some way that you expected this to work that it's not sort of meeting that expectation now, and this can feel like a big disappointment for you. Because we have King of Pentacles, this can be like disappointment with work, disappointment with resources, finances. This can be something like, for example, maybe something like you needed to like have the energy to do something, and maybe something that you were doing was working before, maybe now it's not working anymore. Or maybe this was about you spending time doing something and you were like, okay, this is working, I'm putting in the time, I feel like there's compensation. Now something is going on where it feels like that's not what's happening. Let's see if we can clarify this a bit more, the Five of Pentacles. Or it's not Five of Pentacles, it's Five of Cups. So being as this is happening, actually, like, let's clarify the difference. If we had Five of Pentacles here, this can be like you gave and you put in energy and you ended up actually losing, like there was a loss involved in this. Because it's Five of Cups, I feel like this is more like this isn't meeting my expectations. Like I gave and you can feel like what this is sort of spitting back at you is not comparable to what you are giving. Like there's an imbalance there as far as what your expectation is of this. I do feel like you had high hopes and high expectations, and that this puts some type of stress on you, or that this makes something complicated, or that this puts some type of pressure on you that you can look and say, like, was this really necessary to be happening? But you kind of, maybe this is beyond what you sort of have control over given the circumstance. You're coming out as King of Pentacles, so it shows you doing like everything that you need to be doing here. But I think as far as the standards that you have, this is not meeting the standards. because Five of Cups is being clarified by King of Pentacles, and King of Pentacles is somebody that's like, you're calculating things as far as like what's a good investment and what's not, so you can feel like you invested and you did not see the return that you expected. And now this can be putting some type of pressure on you. The thing is that I'm not seeing anything about like throwing the towel in or anything. I'm seeing like King of Pentacles go back in with strength, so this can be about like possibly continuing to persist through this even though you can feel upset right now. It can be hard to sort of take the next steps when you're bummed about this though. I feel like the part of you that generally knows what to do is sort of looking at the part of you that feels upset about this and is just sort of witnessing that happening. Because this King of Wands, to me, the King of Wands is looking at the Five of Cups, and so I feel like this has to do with you and sort of what energy you put into this, because King of Wands is going to be connected with sort of what it is that you've been doing here, the efforts that you've been putting in. So that part of you is sort of looking at this other part of you and being like, yeah, I get it. It feels kind of like a witnessing that's happening of this that's going on. And kind of just a moment where that is happening, and it feels like it's about that happening, where there's an allowing for what it is that you are feeling before there is a let's do this, let's do that, maybe do this about it. It feels like there's just a witnessing initially of like, yep, tried that, yep, that was the outcome, I see what you expected, I see this does not meet the expectation, and then just sort of sitting within that and recognizing what it is that you are feeling. I feel again like this is and I tried and things didn't go as I planned for them to go. I want to clarify another card here and see what it's doing here. Why is this here? There may be a combining of energies that's going to be happening. There may also be some support that you find. For some of you, I'm wondering if you're going to be maybe teaming up with someone, because I'm seeing another court card here, and also I'm seeing the lovers be connecting with them. Lovers doesn't need to be something romantic. This can just be like a partnership that's going to come up, because it feels more like that than anything to me, regardless of whatever else it is. This feels like something is going to be happening where this can even be a shift that's going to be occurring, where you're not going to be going alone through this. It can also be joining these two aspects of yourself, but I'm hearing the word premonition. I kind of get the feeling that this is going to be you linking up with another person. Because I'm seeing Page of Cups be coming out. To clarify, maybe it is something emotional. Page of Cups and King of Cups. Well, it doesn't have to be. Sure, it can be something where there are feelings involved, but this can also be something that is like creatively connected. Because Page of Cups and King of Cups is artistry. Because water is connected with artistic stuff. So I wonder if there's going to be like a creative element that's added, or that whatever it is that's going on, this relationship is going to feed some type of creativity. Whether this be something that you're embracing, like two aspects that you're embracing within yourself in a very big way. And I think of a way that hadn't been embraced before. I'm seeing Jupiter and I'm seeing Gemini. So this can be a partnership with two aspects of your energy. For some of you though, this is going to be a connection between you and another person, and it really does feel like this is something that it can spark imagination, it can spark big ideas, it can spark inspiration, it can spark creativity. I feel like definitely a creative energy from this, like something that would feel inspiring. And it feels like it introduces you to like some wider concepts as well. I'm seeing Jupiter and Saturn connecting with one another. This can be something going on maybe with an aspect. Do you get the notion of Gemini being involved in this as well? I want to clarify why the world is here. What is this saying? Okay. The world is being clarified by the Hierophant and the Six of Cups. When I see Hierophant and Six of Cups, I get the vibe of like a very ancient energy, because Taurus is already very traditional on its own. It's very like sort of like by the book, like this is the pattern, this is the habit, this is what we're used to. There's a familiarity with the energy of Taurus because of the way that things like traditions and whatnot can be preserved through that energy, or like what we hold to have value, or how we value certain habits and patterns and doing those things consistently. Like Taurus is that fixed energy. And so having the addition of the Six of Cups there feels like some very ancient ways. And this can just be ways that you are like deeply rooted in following certain paths that I feel like is kind of being disrupted at this point. Like something is happening where I feel like there's been a groove sort of cut out because of traveling down a path like that same way every single time, and something about this is now being disrupted. And there can be anger about this, there can be frustration about this, there can be a sort of like hammering away, trying to do something the same way, like very stubbornly. And this is saying something about that, like something about that is coming up to be changed, to be questioned. And I feel like this is also making you open up doing things a different way than you normally would. And I do feel like in some way for some of you, like partnership could be connected with this. Normally, like, I don't always see the Lovers as being like that, and I don't always see the Court cards as being separate people, but in this instance, I kind of do. This feels to me like not only your own energy. I feel like somebody else is going to be involved here in this, but if something were working in a way where you were like completely satisfied with it, I don't think that you would open up to this. I feel like you're going to be encouraged to open up to this because something isn't working. and you know that well enough, and you can say, this challenges the way that I normally do things. This challenges the way that I like to do things, the way that I'm especially comfortable with doing things. But because I don't want to have to keep experiencing this again, I may open myself up now, and I do feel like another person is involved in this, and this feels like you taking things in stride and sort of like learning something here that sort of puts you outside of your comfort zone, but it's something that's being taken in. I also feel like stuff having to do with like the values of partnership are coming up. And I also see some type of plan choices that connect with another person. And that this is sort of expanding the wheelhouse a bit. Because I'm seeing one energy, it's like Jupiter, which can be that overflowing energy, is meeting Saturn, which can be a very restrictive energy of like conserving and whatnot. So when these energies meet in this partnership, it feels like it's going to allow some type of balance, where it feels like one energy that's showing up, I mean, like very clearly, we have Jupiter and we have a fire sign here. We have a King of Wands. We have Saturn and we have an Earth sign here. We have a King of Pentacles. I feel like this is a classic, these things meeting one another, and the person that's this Saturnian energy can be helping show the King of Wands maybe some discipline, maybe consistency, maybe like the value of sort of taking those steps that things may happen a little bit slower, but then it really builds something steady. And then the fire energy can be teaching the King of Pentacles about inspiration, about risk, about reward as well. And maybe doing some stuff like making choices that are less conservative. And so it feels like these energies would actually be great teachers to one another. And Gemini being here is connected with partnership in this context, but especially through communication that would be happening. And this can also be something archetypally that's happening like planetarily with Saturn and Jupiter being involved. Like this can be something that's being learned all around. I do feel like the old ways are being challenged because it was not making enough room for what one really wanted to cultivate. And so this feels like overcoming the past here in a way where it's no longer helpful, but it's hindering. And so there is a moving through that, like maybe even a surpassing of those things to develop something new that feels more connected presently. And I think it's going to lead to a more effective way to move through things. Because this feels like something about like the old system isn't working anymore, and so a new system has to be developed. And also, I don't see you doing this on your own. I see like somebody else being with you where you guys are mutually going to teach things to one another. And it feels like, because you may be in like a bit more of a, you guys can both be seen as maybe being a bit different from one another. Like one energy may really embrace the King of Wands energy, and another energy may really embrace the King of Pentacles energy. And so they'll be able to bring balance to one another. Because these energies can be seen as being different, but have enough in common to be working together on something here. Let's see. Is there anything else about the relationship? Anything else to know about the relationship? I do feel like this, again, is the type of change that it's sort of forced from a place of like, this isn't working. But if things were working, and I feel like that's like the main catalyst for this, like if things were working already, there wouldn't be a need to change. But this feels like it's meant to encourage change. So I kind of feel like that's why this is happening. Because if you were moving along, like bumping to a usual rhythm, and it was working, you'd be like, why change anything? Especially seeing a King of Pentacles here. King of Pentacles is like, if it's working, why are we going to change something? But it feels like it's not allowing for a certain energy that's meant to be part of the process to show up and be part of this, and that's why this is happening. It's sort of to like get somebody else inside the room to be working on things here, and it happens to be the archetype of the King of Wands that's coming through and saying like, I'm witnessing what's going on here, and I feel like if there's partnership between these energies, something can be much better off than it is right now. Okay, so I asked what if we could like get more information about what this relationship is, about what this dynamic is, and the first card that came out is the Tower. And so this can be something that feels spontaneous, it can be something that feels unexpected, and it can also bring some really incredible change with it as well. I thought one of these cards was backwards. Maybe I just was seeing things. So yeah, we have the Tower, and we also have Judgment as well. Mars and Pluto are both going to initiate change, but one where you're really digging at the roots of something. So from the bottom up, something is going to be shifted in a big way. Like this can be a whole like replanting that's happening. It feels like not only are we digging down to the roots and maybe like changing locations, but there can also be like some new or other stuff that's going to be happening too. This doesn't only feel like an uprooting. It feels like there's an uprooting that's happening. There's an analysis of what's been taking place, and there's also going to be the introduction of a different type of energy, and that's what I'm seeing be going on here with this. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.